Today we are going to be discussing from chapter number 2 entitled Content of the Gita Summarized, and we are going to be reading from text number 4. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So chapter 2, text number 4. Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishupi Pratiyotsyami Pujarhav Arisudana. Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubi Pratiyotsyami Pujarhav Arisudana. Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubi Pratiyotsyami Pujarhav Arisudana. Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubi Pratiyotsyami Puja Arhav Arisudana. Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubi Pratiyotsyami Pujarhav Arisudana. Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubi Pratiyotsyami Pujarhav Arisudana. Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubi Pratiyotsyami Pujarhav Arisudana. Okay, word for word translation. Arjuna Uvacha, Arjuna said, Katam, how, Bhishmam, Bhishma, Aham, I, Sankhe, in the fight, Dronam, Drona, Cha, also, Madhusudana, O killer of Madhu, Ishupi, with arrows, Pratiyotsyami, shall counter-attack. Puja Arhav, those who are worshipable. Ari Sudana, O killer of the enemies. Okay, so translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Arjuna said, O killers of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counter-attack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? Please repeat after me. Arjuna said, O killers of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counter-attack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? Purport. Respectable superiors like Bhishma, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teacher, are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not be counter-attacked. It is general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight. Even if they are sometimes harsh in behavior, they should not be harshly treated. Then, how is it possible for Arjuna to counteract them? Would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather Ugrasen or his teacher Sandipani Muni? These were some of the arguments offered by Arjuna to Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bindu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gattara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Tronam Cha Madhusudana Yeshubhi Pratiyothyami Puja Arhav Arisudana. So in this shlok we see, so in the last two shloks we see Krishna's reply to Arjuna's long list of reasons that is given, and Arjuna was not expecting such a response from Krishna. So as soon as he heard these two verses from Krishna, he has automatically spoken this verse as a retaliation. He's spoken this verse as a retaliation. But why did Arjuna retaliate? Okay, so what are the reasons? There are two prominent reasons as to why Arjuna retaliated in this verse. In this, next, and the one after. In three verses, he retaliates Krishna. So, the first reason is that he felt hurt that Krishna has misunderstood him and his fear for not fighting. He has given so many reasons for not fighting. And what Krishna has said, he has just dismissed them as being weakness of heart. So Arjuna already thought, I am not weak. I don't have weakness of heart. You're misunderstanding me. I'm not afraid of losing myself. In fact, Arjuna says in the last chapter that even if they come with arms in hand, they are ready to kill me. I'm willing to give up my life. So Arjuna is not scared of death. So there is no weakness of heart. That is what Arjuna is trying to say to Krishna here. But was Krishna actually misunderstanding him? No. Krishna just wanted to remind Arjuna that all that you have said, is that what other people are going to understand as your reasons for not fighting? They will only see the external, that you have not fought, and they will make up their own reasons as to why you have not fought. And when they make up their reasons, they are not going to tally with what you are telling me right now. They are going to just think that you are a coward, that the biggest battle in your life, you had cold feet. They are not going to look at you and think, oh, he's become such a compassionate fellow. No, they are going to make up their own stories, because as I say, history is written by the conquerors. So if you give up your duty right now, then the Kauravas will win. And when the Kauravas will win, then they will start defaming you and saying false narratives about you, and they will sideline all these things that you have mentioned. They will not even consider that to be worthy of mentioning. They will just contaminate it, pervert it, and saying that, oh, he is saying all of these things just to cover up his weakness of heart, that he could not face us in battle. So this is what Krishna was telling Arjuna. He was basically trying to make him understand that this is what people will say about you. So don't fall into this, or don't succumb to this weakness of heart. So Arjuna actually felt, no, he has not understood me. This is the first reason. Yeah, when there is a friend, and because friendship, you expect that person to understand you, you expect that person to take your side. But if that person does something that makes you feel that, oh, he's doubting you, oh, that hurts a lot. Yeah, if an enemy strikes you, you feel pain, but when a friend strikes you, you feel even more pain. You feel a sense of betrayal. And this is what Arjuna was thinking. Arjuna was thinking that I've poured out my heart to Krishna here, and yet he's not understanding me. This is what he's understood, Arjuna. And then the second reason is that this is called a knee-jerk reaction, an automatic reaction, because whenever somebody points out our faults, what is our first reaction? It's like, oh, we deny them. We deny that these faults even are in us. Yeah, so this is a knee-jerk reaction of Arjuna's ego, false ego here. So let's understand these 2 points in much more detail. The first one is that Arjuna felt hurt that Krishna has misunderstood him. And to retaliate, Arjuna uses 2 words here to label Krishna. He calls Krishna Madhusudana and Arisudana. Madhusudana is a killer of Madhu, and Madhu was a demon. So that's a specific example. And Arisudana, Ari is also means demons, and that's a general sense. So in both the senses, Madhusudana and Arisudana, he is reminding Krishna that you are known as the killer of enemies, of demons. You are not called Ugrasena Sudana. You are not called Sandipani Muni Sudana. You are not known as killing your relatives. Is it true? Did Krishna kill his relative? Yes, he did. Who? Cousin and Kans. He killed Kans. So that is why he was thinking, oh, okay, he might have killed his relative, but you have never killed your teacher. You have never killed Sandipani Muni. So he uses these 2 words to really drive the point that you are not known as killers of well-wishers. You are known as killer of demons. How are you expecting me to kill my venerable elder and my elders Bhishma and Dronacharya? This is what Arjuna is refuting to Krishna by using these 2 words, Madhusudana and Arisudana. So Arjuna has found himself in a deep ethical conundrum that elders like Bhishma and Drona, they are worthy of worship. He says here that they are Puja Arhav. They are worthy of my worship. I am supposed to shower flowers at their lotus feet, and now you are making me shower arrows upon them. Ishubi. Ishubi means arrows. I am supposed to offer showers of flowers at their lotus feet, but you are making me shower heaps and heaps of arrows upon them. This is not right. This is what Arjuna is thinking. You cannot tell me to do this. So although Arjuna retaliates Krishna's point that he is not overcome by weakness of heart, and he is defending his decision based on noble reasoning, that he is giving so many noble reasons why not to fight, the problem is that his fundamental view of the situation is false. It's based on the material conception of life, and thus he can't seem to find a solution to his dilemma. And the second reason is that this is a knee-jerk reaction of the ego towards default defensiveness. As I said, when someone points out the faults in us, the ego automatically makes us defend our position and to deny our faults, because defending is a very natural instinct in us. Like, is it eating, sleeping, mating, and defending? These are built in us because defending is a natural instinct. But this natural instinct does not have to become default. It has to become subordinate to our intelligence. For example, when there is a sharp object, what is your initial reaction to the sharp object? If there is a sharp object coming towards you, what is your natural instinct to do? Close your eyes or move away or duck.
Most sensitive.
Huh?
Eyes very sensitive.
Very sensitive, yes. So, and if possible, you try to duck, you try to move away, you want to try to get away from the danger. But now, what if that sharp object is an injection that contains the medicine that will treat a disease within you? Will you then say that, oh, put away this sharp object away from me? What will you do then?
You feel like punching the doctor, but
Voluntarily accept.
Yeah.
Forcefully accept.
You will accept it. Why? Because your intelligence is controlling that fear, right? Your intelligence is telling you it's better to tolerate this small pain so that it saves us from a much bigger pain that will be created by the disease. So even though your natural reaction is to be afraid of needles and anything sharp, but because your intelligence knows that taking this small pain will save you from so much more pain in the future, you will tolerate it. You will tolerate it. So similarly, the ego naturally wants to defend us, but we have to utilize our intelligence to think, is the ego defending us, making us close down the doors of something that could be better for me? That is something that we have to think greatly about. That the ego will want to defend us, but it also protects and limits and prevents us from realizing our true potential as well. Yes? This is what Arjuna is going to realize soon. So till here we see a back and forth of arguments between Arjuna and Krishna, mostly to do with Arjuna not understanding Krishna's well-wishing comments. And so there appears to be, like in a tennis match, when it is 40-40, it's called a deuce. Like there is a stalemate, there is a deuce, there is a verbal deuce between Krishna and Arjuna. They are basically talking like away from each other. They are just crossing each other. They are not getting to a right point. And his Krishna is telling him, but Arjuna is not understanding that. So now the question is, that is here in this point of the Gita, in 2.4. So what happened that the rest of the Gita was spoken? What is the one thing that happened now in this point in the Gita that allowed the conversation to move forward? So as we said, Arjuna is now at a point where he has to make the most important decision of his life, to fight or not to fight. And so when we have to make a decision, there are three broad categories in how we make a decision. The first category is we are indecisive. We just don't know what to do. And because we are constantly sitting on the fence, we get nowhere. That's indecisiveness. On the other extreme is we have got impulsiveness, meaning we just dive in, forget about what the consequences will be, we will try and find out what the consequences are later on. Just dive in. Yeah, it can be reckless. It can be reckless. You're just diving in without doing your due diligence of what will happen. And the middle way, so on one side is indecisiveness, the other side is impulsiveness. The middle way is called introspection. And at this point, you are looking at all the different avenues that will take place. You are taking the pros and cons. You are thinking of all the consequences of each action very, very deeply. So now in all three of these, where was Arjuna?
first indecisive.
Okay, but before that, he given so many reasons for not fighting. So that is a sign of introspection. But introspection also has its limitations, as Arjuna is finding out here. And because he is introspecting so much, introspection is meant for you to get a solution to your problem. But if you keep on going round and round, that deep thinking becomes known as overthinking. Deep thinking is supposed to clarify your thoughts so that you can get to a solution faster. But what happens is this deep thinking can degenerate into overthinking, and overthinking is you going over and over the same points, same points again and again in such a way that you are going nowhere, which is the same as being indecisive. The problem with these three, indecisiveness, impulsiveness and introspection, is that it is limited to our capacity of intelligence. Yes? And if something is beyond our ability to understand, none of these three help us. So then we need the fourth type. We need the fourth type to make a decision, and the fourth type is known as inspiration. Now inspiration, if you break it down, it means to infuse with some spirit, meaning to understand from a higher level, and the higher level is from a spiritual level. That is what inspiration is all about. So the one quality that was saving Arjuna in this critical moment was the fact that he was humble. For you to get inspired means you need to submit yourself to somebody. Without that, you are not going to get inspired. So humility is the first quality that you need, and Arjuna had this quality. Why did he have this quality? Because he had so many spiritual impressions in his life. He grew up in a very dharmic way. So he was full with all these impressions of spirituality in him. He was naturally humble in nature. And because he was humble in nature, he was able to recognize that this is something beyond my capacity to solve. So it is better for me to submit myself to somebody greater than my own ability to solve this problem. And then, as we will see in 2.7, he looks around and he says that I cannot find anyone better to remove my doubts apart from you, Krishna. So at that point, he humbly submits himself to Krishna and says that now you become my guru, I am your disciple. And at that moment, the Gita moves forward. Okay. So now so humility means acknowledging that God in his infinite wisdom always has a plan, and us with our finite intelligence don't always have access to that plan. So when we are humble, we are recognizing our own limitations, and we are accepting the infinite wisdom of the Lord, and we are humbly surrendering so that we might get his grace in understanding what is the right thing to do. Yeah, in the Bhagavatam, there are many stories of how the virtue of humility is very much celebrated in the Bhakti tradition. So, for example, in the 6th canto, there is a story of Indra and Vritasur. So, in that story, it seems as though Lord Vishnu is helping Indra by defeating Vritasura. He tells Indra how exactly you need to go about to kill Vritasura. He says you need to go to Dadichi Muni, ask him for his bones, make a thunderbolt out of that bones, and with that you will be able to kill Vritasura. And when Indra did all of this, and then he started fighting with Vritasura, and at that moment Vritasura started saying such highly elevated spiritual knowledge, and he says, Indra, why are you delaying in killing me? Because when you kill me, I am actually getting more benefit than you are getting. Externally it seems as if Vishnu is on your side. He is taking your side, in the sense that he is in the battle, he is taken your side to help you defeat me. but in actuality he has shown me more mercy. Because you kill me, you will get the kingdom of the three worlds, but I will get liberation. So people don't really understand Krishna's great master plan. Only the devotees of the Lord understand Krishna's plan in full. Yes, not non-devotees. And this is exactly what is happening. To the outside world, Krishna's words doesn't make sense at all in this moment of time. But and even Arjuna doesn't understand. That is why he is retaliating. He cannot understand Krishna's words at the moment. But because he has got this one quality of being humble, that one quality enables him to fertilize his heart, to be able to receive the knowledge that Krishna will give him, the entire Gita knowledge. And then we